Another thing that you're going to want to do when it comes to Snapchat is find out what kind of statistics you can get and how you can use them to make your brand better. Unfortunately, Snapchat doesn't really offer any sort of detailed analytics or anything to tell you who is visiting your story page, but it does have some statistics that you might find useful. In this video, we're going to go over those as well as tell you about the alternatives that are cropping up that may give you the analytics information that you need. There are several metrics that Snapchat offers you. The first one that we're going to discuss here is the total unique views that a story has gotten. And stories are the only analytics that we'll discuss here because that's what you're going to be using as a marketer, and also it's the only feature on the site that Snapchat offers analytics on. Total unique views tells you how many people opened your story and saw at least the first frame. They may not have gone on to finish the story, and in fact, they may not have even passed the first frame, but it tells you how many people opened up your story, and it's very accurate. The thing about stories is that you can see how many views are on every single frame of the story, or of the video if you created a video. And that's how you get these total unique views. You go to the first frame and look. The second analytic that we're going to discuss is total story completions. You get your total story completions by going to the very last frame of your story and taking a look at how many people finished your story. Make sure that you're keeping track of these metrics as you see them, and also keep in mind that this will be after 24 hours that your story has been live. Make sure that you're keeping track of these metrics as you see them, and also keep in mind is this will be after the 24 hours that your story has been live. The third analytic is probably the most important of all of these, and it's the completion rate, which you'll figure out yourself by looking at your total unique views compared to your total story completions. So, for example, if you had 1,000 people start your story but only 450 completed it, you would have a 45% completion rate. The higher your rate is, the better your story. Finally, the fourth analytic that we're going to discuss is the stopping point. You want to look at your snaps and try to figure out if there is a trend as to when they stopped watching or viewing your story. If you can detect a trend at a certain frame, then you will have discovered where the problem was, which means the problem was somewhere up to that point, not necessarily the frame that they stopped on. There are a few companies out there that are providing analytics information for Snapchat. They've only popped up recently, but they have some innovative systems, and several have very good reputations with businesses that are looking to market on Snapchat. If you want to find out what is going on with your Snapchat account and have detailed analytics so that you can make the best decisions possible on what to post and when, as well as what's working and what isn't, then you might want to look into using one of these companies. Just do your research and make sure that other people are recommending the service and that the price isn't outrageous compared to the going rate. In this video, we're going to discuss a couple of ways that you can use live events to get followers to your Snapchat account. The first thing that you should do is open up your Snapchat app and look where the Discover page is. You'll see a place where it says Live, and then you'll find stories below that. Now, don't get confused by this live event feature that Snapchat has. They do a thing called Our Story, where they pick a live event that's going on and then take people's snaps and video from that event and build a curated story that everyone can see regardless of who they're following. This is not the type of live event that we will be discussing in this video. The type of live event that you want to use Snapchat for is the kind of live event where your company is doing something exciting that customers can attend. You can hold these events whenever you like, and you can use Snapchat to both bring people to your live event and convince people that are already at your live event to sign up and follow you on Snapchat. The way that you get people from your Snapchat to your live event is fairly straightforward. Just build a story using snaps in that event and invite people out. Just remember, stories last for 24 hours, so the best way for you to do a live event with Snapchat stories is to have the story begin before the live event starts, 24 hours before the start of your live event perhaps. Then you can start to build a brand new story when the event starts, and people will be able to check out live images and video from the event. Obviously, this is a great way to get people to your event because you not only get people who have to prepare for the event and are willing to come, 24 hours after they've heard about it, but you also get people who are more of the right here, right now, fly by the seat of your pants variety. In other words, people who will come to your live event at very short notice. It's also worth noting that this will only work if you have followers in the same city that you're doing the event in, and if you are a large brand and you're in a large city, then this is usually not a problem. For small businesses, many of their followers will have followed them by coming into their brick and mortar store, and so they won't have a problem either. In fact, the only people who are going to have a problem are the people who do not have a brick and mortar store and only work online, but have a very small business and not a huge Snapchat following. Holding a live event will be very poorly attended because very few of your Snapchat followers are likely to be in that particular area. In either case, whether you are convincing people to sign up and follow you on Snapchat from the live event, or you're trying to convince followers in that area to come to your live event, you should definitely use some sort of promotion, coupon, or giveaway to entice them. This video is designed to give you some ideas on how you can deliver personal content to the people who follow you on Snapchat, including what kind of content you can deliver and some ideas for some great personal deliveries, as well as tips on how you should deliver them. This is something that you would do individually with your followers and is designed to work with the promotion that you have going on. For example, suppose that you posted on your website that sometime in the next few days you are going to give away a certain number of free items or gift certificates, but that the people who would receive them need to be followers whom you sent a personal snap to. What you should do next is choose a specific day during that week and even choose the hours that you're going to be doing it between. Then you ramp up your advertising efforts a little during that period because you know that the people that are following you on Snapchat are paying attention because they want to get a free item and they will read your stories more frequently. This is just one way that delivering personal content can help your business. Another way that you can use personal content to grow your business is by thanking customers when they purchase something from your website by sending them a snap and then create a story with those snaps. This is a great method because all it requires is that you ask people on your order form to put in their Snapchat ID. There are many different ways out there of using personal communications to grow your business. You can try to get referrals from people who are currently following you by creating a story that tells them that they will get something at a huge discount or for free if they get a certain number of people to follow you on Snapchat. You may have to have them post on another social media network. Twitter is the best option because you may not see on Snapchat if they snap and send you the name of a user that followed you based on their recommendation. You can ask them to post the person's Snapchat ID on Twitter with a specific hashtag, and then you can check your Snapchat followers to find out if that person has joined that day, and then you can give them credit for the follow. Another great way that you can use Snapchat is to provide your followers with some behind-the-scenes information or an inside look at something that you're doing. This has a number of benefits, first and foremost being that people who follow you on Snapchat will pay closer attention to your snaps and stories and will keep your business in mind if they need your product or service because you're already in their mind. But another benefit is that if your behind-the-scenes information is exciting and whatever you're building or doing is compelling, people are going to want to share it. There are lots of ways that you can do this. First of all, make sure that all of the other social media you use knows that you're posting exclusive behind-the-scenes information on Snapchat. And that means that if followers from your other social media platforms want to see the behind-the-scenes information, they're going to have to become followers on Snapchat as well, which gives you more followers. You can use this to get followers every time you have something that you can show behind-the-scenes information about. You can even drive traffic to your own website using Snapchat. If you snap and build stories, you can place a method for getting to your website within the story, as well as a reason for them to go there, a call to action that's going to give them some sort of benefit. You always want to make sure that you have some sort of benefit to offer them. One great way to use Snapchat to get long-term results is to direct them to your website and then have them sign up for your mailing list. That means you can now send emails, and people will look at an email for much longer than they will a tweet or a Snap story most of the time. The main thing here is that you just make sure that you're always interacting with your audience. If you have something that you think would be great on Snapchat, make sure that you put it there. Make sure that you take every opportunity that you have to give people that follow you on social media some sort of inside information about your company or something that they didn't have before. If you want them to do something and follow a call to action, then make sure that you are offering some sort of benefit to do so as well. Snapchat is a great place to run contests and promotions. Many of the other businesses that are on Snapchat use this method both to say thanks, usually with discounts, and to get more followers by stirring up some excitement. So, how do you run a contest or promotion that will do well on Snapchat? The first thing that you're going to have to do is design your promotion. You need to figure out what kind of things you're going to require from the customers or followers and how you're going to set it up logistically. For example, they could add you as a friend on Snapchat, and then you could request them to create a video or take a snapshot and send it to you. Now you're going to promote your contest. You can promote it in your brick and mortar store, on your own website, and on other social media platforms that you use. There are all kinds of ways that you can promote your contest, but you want to keep in mind that you have to let your followers know in a very clear fashion if you decide to use their videos later in a future promotion. The next step in the process is checking your contest entries. For example, if you had your users send you videos, one of the things that you can do to make sure that you see all of the entries is to use a third-party program to view the videos and save them to your phone. You're probably aware by now that if you use Snapchat and someone sends you a video or a snap, it's going to self-destruct in no more than 10 seconds unless they build a story with it, in which case it's going to be gone in 24 hours. From there, it's just a matter of figuring out who the winner is in your promotion or however you designed it, with multiple winners or with everyone receiving some sort of promotional code. However you choose to create a fun and exciting promotion that your followers will like. If you do this, you'll find that the followers that you have will be much more apt to check out your snaps and videos as well as stories when you post them. One of the ways that you may not have considered marketing your company with Snapchat is to use niche influencers. This is actually a tried and true method of marketing, and it is something that big companies do quite often. Some companies have partnered with YouTube stars in the past who work in the same niche as them, such as cosmetic companies pairing up with extremely popular makeup tutorial YouTubers. And so it's a very good way to market your company. So, what are niche influencers? Well, they are people who have a lot of influence over a large number of potential customers within your own niche. Niche influencers often have large followings that go out and buy their recommended products and trust them implicitly. When it comes to anything that they use personally, followers will go out and buy that particular product in droves, which is why brands send popular YouTubers free samples of their products all the time. There are a lot of benefits to using niche influencers. For one thing, you're going to have a chance to entice their audience to come over to your particular company when they need a product or service that you provide. For another, the name of your company will be going around within circles that make up your industry. So, how should you use niche influencers? There are many creative ways that you can do this. Some people send them free samples of whatever their products or services that they're selling. As long as that particular influencer is in your industry, this is perfectly acceptable. And others do things like allowing a well-known person to take over a social media account. In fact, this is something that's been quite a trend recently. Finding niche influencers within your particular industry isn't all that difficult. You can use websites like Clout, Peer Index, and Cred, or any of the other barometers of influence that are out there. You can also check social media and find out who has a huge following within your particular industry. There are various ways to go about this depending on what social media platforms that you use, but you definitely should check Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Of course, you may be able to find out who the niche influencers are within your industry that are also on Snapchat. You should definitely learn from other brands on Snapchat. There are several ways to do this, but with the platform constantly evolving and with new marketing ideas coming up all the time, it can be a little time consuming to keep up with everything. However, you do want to make an effort to try to figure out what other companies are doing, particularly the biggest companies, because those are going to be the easiest ones to find and will save you a little time. Figure out what other brands did and then come up with methods that work just as well. So, let's come up with some ways that you can find out what other brands are up to and learn from them. And the first thing is news articles. Now, if you follow marketing news, you're definitely going to find people talking about Snapchat. With 2 million active users per month, there are a lot of people with their eye on this particular application, so you want to see where it's going, particularly since the company refused Facebook's offer. So if you look at the marketing news websites where you set up your news search for Snapchat, you should find some great information on what some of the major brands are up to when it comes to Snapchat. Another thing that you can do is ask other people that you know who are in the industry. Regular communication with professionals like yourself that are within the same industry that you are in will allow you to share a great deal of information with each other that you might not have had on your own. People that are within your own industry are easy to find, and unless they are a direct competitor, they probably will going to be happy to discuss their methods. And you can follow marketing blogs that are all about the trends. Find some great marketing blogs that have good information and then sign up to get regular updates or an RSS feed from them. Bloggers will do quite a bit of research regularly, and so they may be able to get information before you can on some of the trends that are going on in Snapchat. You can use Google to find bloggers who concentrate particularly on Snapchat and the marketing that goes with it.